This is Hermitcraft. It's probably the biggest Minecraft SMP on YouTube right now, and it has been going for literally 10 years. But how? Minecraft has died like 12 trillion times, and you're telling me that these guys outlasted Captain Sparkles? Well, it's a lot more complicated than that, because Hermitcraft is clearly doing something that no other SMP has been doing. They destroyed the Dream SMP, they crushed SMP Live, and they are hungry or more. For server to both take off and survive, there are two main things it needs to go perfectly: the creators and the audience. The creators need to not get burnt out, to have fun making the videos that they're making, and also to be able to make those videos without losing out on growth. But there's more, because the audience also needs to be engaged and interested enough to watch the content, support the creators, and much more. And getting these two to work at the same time is virtually impossible. I mean, even removing the content part of all of this, think of all the SMPs that are started by good friend groups that just get abandoned after a few weeks.
I wanted to make videos so badly, but not enjoying the game made the video creation really hard. It just felt like I was being disingenuous.
Burnout. It's become more and more of a well-known cause for creators quitting, and it is deadly. Everyone thinks that it'd be awesome to be a YouTuber. You get to play video games all day. It's your job. Who wouldn't love that? But it really isn't that simple. Every single creator I know is always trying to figure out how to grow faster, how to make sure that they're not completely forgotten by the time the next big thing comes about. And a lot of them, myself included, are obsessive with their analytics. Watch time, view duration, the rate at which a video grows, even if it's doing well. Constant pressure from hundreds of thousands of fans, and even more from those around you who always seem to be doing better. It is not easy, despite how it seems. And to compensate, a lot of people work themselves really hard. So much so that they eventually just can't anymore. They lose their drive and fire and passion and just quit. It's happened to nearly every big creator at one point or another. Hell, it happened to Mumbo Jumbo literally this year, and yet Hermitcraft has kept itself alive for 10 years. What happened there? Why didn't all the creators burn out there? First of all, most, if not all of the creators on Hermitcraft are like 30. Mumbo is actually amongst the youngest at 26, and this means that not only are all of these creators much more mature than the 18 to 20-year-olds that have been blowing up on YouTube, it means that they know that taking care of yourself is also, surprise, surprise, really important. Most of the hermits have realistic, healthy schedules they set for themselves, or are setting for themselves, like Rian also did recently, and they stick to that. They give themselves time for their family, time to relax and not work, and they make sure that their work-life balance is healthy. They're also usually a bit more careful with their platform and make sure their relationship with their audience isn't too parasocial and unhealthy, which is always a good thing, trust me. But what about actual success? Hermitcraft somehow has managed to stay relevant, to stay at the top of the SMP game even for years at this point, with seemingly very little changing about their actual content. So why is it that in the age of algorithm manipulation and crazy intros to optimize for watch time, the most subscribed hermit usually starts his videos with white text on a black background? Why is it that fancy editing and on-screen tricks are restricted to only a handful of hermits, and yet they still somehow succeed? Okay, so imagine Hermitcraft, right? Like it's one of those simulating civilization videos. Yep, I know they're overdone, but bear with me here, right? This is where the creators make their stuff. They need to be happy and get views. Awesome. This is the outside world, and this is it's the YouTube for posting videos. Anyway, let's take myself as an example. If I was in this little box here, I make a video, I put it through the YouTube, and I get some views back, and some new people might subscribe. Awesome. But when I'm not making videos, well, I don't get as many views. How could we fix that? Well, I could make more videos quicker, but that would get me burnt out. Well, what about hiring someone, paying them to help me make videos? Well, I definitely could make more videos then, but then all the new extra views I might get completely eaten up by this other person who also, you know, needs to eat. Also, having another person in a creative process, well, they're a different person. They might have different visions and ideas for how the video would be made. And Hermitcraft, maybe unknowingly, figured out the solution to this ages ago. Because Hermitcraft is on a server with every single player making content. Every single player is constantly making videos at their own rate, which, and this is the important bit, involves the other hermits, directly or indirectly. This means that, yeah, one person making a video has all of the normal effects and all of the creative control, but it also indirectly might give the person they talked to in that video some of the benefits, and this knock-on effect happens for every creator. Okay, we got a bit theoretical there, so let me give you a really good example. Basically, all Let's Plays on YouTube have a view graph like this. You start off really high with loads of people interested in this new thing and trying to get into the series, and then the views slowly decline over time as people lose interest in the series or move on. Seems pretty obvious, right? Now, let me introduce you to Zedaf, a member of the Hermitcraft server who's been making videos for ages. Now, Zed has some of the best editing on the Hermitcraft server and is incredibly funny, so he's been growing steadily as time goes on, just like any normal creator, right? But bear with me here. What do you think Zed's most viewed video is? I mean, it's obvious, right? Hermitcraft Season 7 or Season 8 were the biggest Hermitcraft seasons, and Episode 1. Duh, that's how SMPs work. Wrong. Zedaf's most viewed video is Episode 38 of Hermitcraft Season 7, and it's in no small part because he switched bases with Graham. I mean, just listen to the top comment of the video. Mumbo is a genius. To be honest, I didn't watch a single episode of Zedaf's episodes until today. By switching bases, the viewers will have to watch the videos of the other hermits, thus connecting the Hermitcraft community and helping each other out. Mumbo being Mumbo Jumbo, who had organized the entire base swap as a part of a huge server-wide event for Season 7, the HCBBS, which I actually made a video on at the time, and this base swap was just the normal effects of the Hermitcraft server, but ramped up to 10 trillion. Hermitcraft is, like I showed you earlier, an ecosystem, and this helps to keep every single creator growing while they make content on the server. This also means that, let's say you get into the Hermitcraft ecosystem from a Mumbo redstone tutorial, but you're also actually a bigger fan of building. Well, Hermitcraft has a perfect creator for you. What if I like building, but I want the creator to be hyper with pretty heavy editing, who does some lore and who has to have over 1 million subscribers and who lives in North America so they post at normal time for me? Well, there's a creator for that. Now, if you made it this far in the video, chances are your attention span is pretty good. Congratulations on being not like 99% of the rest of YouTube. And here's the point I'm trying to make. If you aren't editing with cuts, like 32 of them every 5 seconds, if there isn't always something on screen or fast talking or something else happening, the amount of people who stay for more than 5 seconds of your video plummets. Also, people say I talk fast in my videos. I talk like this normally, but whatever. Anyway, off topic. Hermitcraft makes up for this though by being extremely smart and leveraging Twitch. You see, it itches something in monkey brain to see big progress happen in a short time. There's a reason time lapses are so popular, and very early on, hermits realized that when an episode had a lot of progress, it was much more enjoyable for the viewer than one where it felt like, nothing happened. Therefore, they use Twitch, where being live for a lot of time, all the time, helps a lot to grind out these huge gigabase projects that wouldn't be feasible without live streaming them, and then condense those projects into videos so that there are constant dopamine hits for viewers on YouTube who keep watching for longer, and so that they can be live and doing something on Twitch for longer, which not only grows their platform there, but also gives them another source of income. This kind of huge progress on a weekly basis means that every video feels like it's useful and necessary to be watched, which makes the likelihood that people watch past that episode 1 much higher, which gets them invested and interested in the actual series, not just the premise. And also, a lot of the Hermit's audience are kids, and because of the family-friendly nature of their content, it's really easy for parents to not only be okay with their kids watching Hermitcraft, for the broad concepts of the video to appeal to them as well. In short, they make content that is accessible to kids, but appealing to all, which has led to countless stories of Hermitcraft becoming a family thing, sitting down at the end of the week and watching the new episode with the family. It's fun, free, wholesome entertainment. Finally though, we need to talk about the actual server itself, because the way Hermitcraft runs itself is incredibly important to how the server has stayed alive this long. Xuma, the unofficial leader of the group, is making a video series on how Hermitcraft is run, and his insight is super interesting. You see, Hermitcraft is an extremely democratic server, in that every hermit is consulted on server decisions before they're made, and everyone's vote is exact same. There is no distinction or even perceived barrier to two hermits collabing, talking, or having different opinions no matter their size on YouTube. Everyone has an equal say, no matter what. The server also has regular meetings where members are able to voice their concerns and criticisms without fearing retribution in any way, which makes every member accessible and contactable. There is always a way for every hermit to have their voice heard. This means that every hermit feels at home and comfortable with the space, and for huge decisions like adding new members to the server, the decision must be unanimous. Every single hermit has to agree. And although the initial motivation for Hermitcraft came from trying out making Let's Plays, which were new on YouTube at the time, the drive to continue came from the server itself being as fun and productive as it could possibly be for the hermits, while retaining the extremely important trait of being a group of friends. New hermits freshened up the server with their ideas, and when older hermits felt the need to move on, they were allowed to do so with grace. There was no drama. And take a look at this clip from Exuma's video.
This brings me to communication. Keeping players informed and looped in creates a welcoming environment, but by keeping everyone in the loop, it made it much easier to participate.
Now, compare that to how Eric has described how the Dream SMP was. We do have a script plans channel in the Discord, but that is talked in only about once per month nowadays. Outside of that, most lore is planned in DMs and group chats, and as a result, a lot of people are left out. Like, you can see the huge difference there, right? One server clearly has more organization because members know that it is their responsibility to communicate with each other clearly and make time for the server. Now, hopefully that's changed with the new seasons of the Dream SMP, but it's already been a thing for Hermitcraft, and that is why Hermitcraft will never die. It's got a wide selection of incredibly diverse creators who know how to balance making smart, entertaining videos with their lifestyle, who are responsible enough to make time for the server, and who are incredibly driven. Oh, and all those years ago, they also got very, very lucky. You want to see more Hermitcraft videos? Then watch one of these videos on screen right now. Subscribe!